Well, we're going to talk about the franchise business. So many of the businesses that people buy these days are franchises, and there's a lot of reasons for it. And we're going to kind of get an update on what's going on in that franchise world with our local expert, Blake Martin. Blake is the owner of FranNet of the Heartland. Good morning, Blake. Welcome back.
Thanks a lot. It's great to be here again.
Yeah, good to have you on the show. And why don't you start with a 30,000-foot view of FranNet of the Heartland? What is it that you guys do, and how do you help your clients?
Well, thanks for asking. So if you chose my industry category from a drop-down menu, it'd be franchise broker and consultant. So think of us as the Match.com for local entrepreneurs. What I mean when I say that is we provide no-cost coaching and consulting to folks who are looking to start a business, but they're not quite sure what kind of business is the right fit for them. So it could be a serial entrepreneur who's looking for their next business, or it could be that corporate refugee or wannabe corporate refugee who says, now's the time, I want to start building my own dream rather than somebody else's. And we guide them and offer them support in determining, first of all, is the franchising route the right way versus hanging your own shingle or buying an existing business? And if franchising is the right route for them, give them the tools and resources to help eat that elephant. There's 4,000 franchise opportunities out there. So how do you choose? Where do you begin that process? And that's what we help people walk through.
So let's say a person wants to get involved in this line of work. Okay, they've always, maybe they're a soon-to-be corporate refugee. I love that terminology, by the way, Blake. And they want to get out of that rat race. So what happens when they first meet with you guys? I mean, because the stretch of time that exists between I think I might leave this job and buy a business to I own my own franchise and it's actually making money is full of a lot of steps.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So that conversation typically starts with a lot of discussion about what are we trying to achieve here, right? What's the motivators? What are the priorities? And it's not just, I don't like my job anymore, right? That's not something that is going to motivate you to get through the challenges of starting your own business. There's tough days, weeks, and months, I know myself, right? But what are you trying to achieve here? Is it more flexibility? Is it more time with your family? Do you want to start knowing your next door neighbors better than you do the shuttle driver at Epley Airport? Those are the real motivators that are going to drive people to do their own thing. So we talk a lot about what are you trying to achieve here? And we help build a blueprint, a nod to your industry, Brad. We help them build a blueprint for what does that ideal business look like for you, your family, anybody else who's involved in this decision.
When I was a kid, which is starting to be a long time ago, when you would think of buying a franchise, you would think of buying a McDonald's, okay, or like a fast food restaurant or something like that. But now there are infinite examples of businesses that are available through the franchising mechanism. Blake, what are the most common, or can I say hottest types of businesses for people to buy franchises?
I appreciate you asking. So you're right. Franchises in many cases are kind of like Transformers, the toys or the movies that we saw. A lot of them are hiding in plain sight. And you might not even know that it's a franchise, but that's okay because you know that they're still locally owned and operated, and they've got the backing of the national organization that's been there, done that. So some of those industries that are hot, and it won't surprise you, home service businesses, right? So that became very popular during COVID. Everybody wanted to get a project done on their home. But they were already having record years just before that, and we're continuing to see that now. So whether that's a business that helps with modifications to a home, or they have some specialty like bathroom remodeling or painting, franchises tend to take existing mousetraps and improve them for that business owner. You also see businesses that always sustain no matter what's going on in the economy, like education, kids' activities, so actually providing support and structure for kids' activities, and healthcare-related businesses. Those have been very big for the last decade in franchising, all three of those.
Since I'm filling in for Trenton, I figure I better ask, what's the most unique franchise out there you can think of?
It's the zinger question. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. There's a lot of them, right? So One of them is a business that helps provide STEM education to kids. Another one is a business that does Montessori. So if anybody who's a listener, or any of you guys in the room, have had kids and you're looking for some kind of Montessori preschool, good luck. It's almost impossible to find one. There's a franchise out there called Ivy Brook, and we've got a brother and sister in town who are bringing it to town for the first time, and it is a part-time Montessori education daycare. Very not exactly what you think of when you think of franchising, right?
No, not at all. We were talking off the air about franchising, and I just shared a little bit that I've worked for a big corporate franchise back in a previous career, and I've also worked for a mom and pop. And the amount of structure and systems in place in the franchise world is really just amazing. I mean, you don't have to be an expert at what you're doing to get into a business, because a lot of those franchises provide all that for you.
I think you make a good point that sometimes people underestimate until they really start digging into this business. I'm a good example, actually. So we practice what we preach at FranNet. We are our franchise system ourselves. So I'm a franchisee teaching other people what it's like and whether it's the right move to get into the franchising industry. Now, I was in the field for a long time before I decided to start my own franchise. And I could argue to myself, well, I know this business already. Do I really need a franchise? But to your point, the systems, the processes, and the tools that make it easier, that made it easier for me to get to break even and continue to grow and scale. And frankly, to learn from somebody else's successes and mistakes, because mistakes in starting your own business can be really expensive. So to be able to learn from those examples, incredibly valuable to me, regardless of whether you have that brand recognition, right? Like, who knows what a FranNet is? But I still invested in it because I knew it could save me time and money.
We're talking with Blake Martin, owner of FranNet of the Heartland. And Blake, earlier we're talking about potential franchisees coming and talking to you and kind of the counseling you provide. Do you do any services for potential franchisors? Any companies that are thinking, hey, maybe we ought to spread this concept we have and get it all over the world?
We absolutely do, and it's a legacy addiction for me. So I grew up in the franchising industry, helping to turn businesses into franchises, both here and abroad. And one of the things that we embrace at FranNet is there are plenty of business owners out there who are thinking, I could replicate this, right? I could grow this to more locations. But what I want people who are running these locations who have the same skin in the game and love this business as much as me. So I want them to be owners or have an owner's mentality like me. And a lot of times the franchising model is a great fit for that. So we help folks through the process of how do I take this business from the flagship location or locations and grow it outside of Omaha or grow it outside of the market that I've based it in, and give them the tools and resources to take that thing from one location to a whole lot of owners that collaborate and learn from each other.
So let me take it in a little bit of a different route here. So much of what we read about in the Wall Street Journal and in business publications these days revolves around artificial intelligence. Everything is AI. Well, our jobs even exist in 10 years because of AI. How is AI having an impact on the franchising world?
Our organization has embraced it fully. We try to follow our own advice that the worst thing that can happen to an organization is 40 years of success if you don't remain nimble and innovative. So something groundbreaking is coming out in our industry, in this niche of franchise brokerage. It's called MyQualify, and we've been working on it in the background for a couple of years now. And it is a product that allows the person searching for a business, the person searching for a franchise, to self-direct their search. And they can bring in a person, an individual like me, a real person they can talk to wherever they want in that process. But what we've done is we built, it's based on a ChatGPT type skeleton, right? But we've also integrated 35 years of knowledge and the knowledge of helping about 17,000 people successfully enter the franchising and small business industry. So we've baselined it and built in a scoring product that helps people figure out, am I a good fit for franchising? And if so, what kind of franchise might I want to consider and talk to? It's called MyQualify again, and what we've done with this is try to create the convenience and the self-directed approach. folks like, well, you're too young, but you take somebody older like Trenton, right? He remembers a time.
I love it because we're the same age, but go ahead.
I was really hoping he'd be here so I could say that to his face. He remembers a time when it seemed weird to make a purchase off the internet. He and I remember a time when, hey, if you wanted to get a ride somewhere, you took a taxi. Or if you wanted to get a car, there was no Carvana, right? Well, now, if you want to research and analyze a franchise without talking to a guy or a gal and you just want to do it in the privacy of your own home at your own pace, reach out to us. I'll connect you with my Qualify, and you can self-direct that search.
Another minute here with Blake Martin, owner of FranNet of the Heartland. Before we let you go, Blake, we wanted to bring up two things. First of all, you guys have a fundraiser and annual celebration of entrepreneurship that is becoming a must-attend event lately. Tell us about that.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. So this will be our 6th annual celebration and fundraiser. I'm a big believer, Jeff, in if a community helps you achieve a level of success in small business, then the way you give back is by contributing back to that community. So each year we do this celebration and fundraiser to help raise funds, to celebrate entrepreneurship, certainly, and the successes we've seen, but to help raise funds for a small charity in town. And this year, Deaf Child Hope International, which helps the 25 million deaf children in the poorest countries in the world who live in poverty and isolation, it provides them with hope, it provides them with language, sign language, and food and shelter. And J.D. King of Deaf Child Hope International founded that company right here in Omaha.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So we're going to highlight that next Friday, the 10th, from 4 to 7 p.m., and it's down at the Hot Shops Art Center, like always.
And then if people want to participate, do they sign up, or how does that work?
Yeah, we ask them to RSVP. So if you have an interest in small business or business in general, and you're a listener of this show, so you are, or you just have an interest in giving back to the community, then go to frannetparty.eventbrite.com and RSVP. It's down at the Hot Shops next Friday, 4 to 7 p.m.
All right, real fast. There are some people here that are there are some people listening right now that are seriously thinking about franchises. What do they do to get the ball rolling with you and look into the process?
Yeah, just reach out to me. You can hit me via email at bmartin@frannet.com, or you can just look me up on LinkedIn and connect me that way. Or if it's easiest, just go to FranNetoftheHeartland.com. Reach out to me. We'll get in touch. There is no cost. There is no obligation. The one obligation is you have to be willing to take the research seriously.
I love it. Blake, thanks for joining us and bringing us up to speed with what's going on in the franchise world.
Thanks a lot for having me again. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Blake Martin of FranNet of the Heartland.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.